One of my biggest recruitment mistakes. Many years ago, I worked on a mine site. I worked 9 days on the mine site and 5 days I was at home. At home, I had a pet and it was a pet dog called Rex. This was my boy, Rex, and he was a stray. He was living in the bushes outside of my house, and I took him in and looked after him. If, of course, I am on a mine site for 9 days, then I need to have a renter. At that period of time, my good renter left and I needed to find another one quickly. Part of the mistake I made was called the affinity bias, and that is where you are biased to people who are like you. And my bias is to service personnel. I have come from being in the British Army, and if someone's been in the forces, I tend to have a bias. So what occurred was that someone applied to rent my home who had been in the forces. And of course, it was, as you can see, number one here, a rushed recruitment campaign. Two, clearly there was affinity bias playing a part in this recruitment campaign, i.e. I was subconsciously hiring someone who was like me, an ex-service person. And three, confirmation bias is where when you're in a hurry, you have a tendency to ask questions to confirm your bias. And after the first 4 minutes, all the other questions are confirming your bias. This was the result of my recruitment decision. After a couple of months, I returned home. My boy Rex was outside. I'm not sure if he'd been fed, and my home was completely empty. Additionally, the phone had been used to purchase services, and I was now deeply in debt. I had to find my furniture by going to a number of shops, and there was no assistance from the police at that point in time. To take him to court, I actually had to find the individual, and so I had to walk around the neighbourhood knocking on doors and trying to locate him. Additionally, when he was located, he put a violence restraining order against me because I undertook martial arts at that point in time. When I did take him to the magistrate's court, the magistrate asked him to pay $20 a fortnight for the next 10 to 20 years. On 3 occasions, he stopped paying the $20. On the last occasion I went to the magistrate's court, the magistrate said, "But you have more money than him, Mr. Osborne." Additionally, he has certain welfare rights in regards to his income and his own property. And that income and his property cannot be used to assist pay his debts to you. So my first observation is that anyone who is reasonably good at recruitment and giving managerial advice has made mistakes, and probably many mistakes. And if you want to find a good recruiter or obtain good career advice, ask them about their mistakes. And if they genuinely tell you about 3 mistakes they've made and the pain it has caused them and the lessons that they've learnt and the new behaviour they've implemented, then maybe they have truly learnt some valuable lessons that you could learn. So this first point, never rush a recruitment campaign, is so pertinent. So often there is an emotional need as a business owner to get someone in the position, doing the job, and doing the job as quickly as possible. However, never rush a recruitment campaign. Additionally, a big red flag is when you hear an employee say, "I've got 2 or 3 companies who are interested in me. I love your position in your company. Can you fast track your decision regarding me and this role?" If anyone says that to you, that's a red flag. This second point here, affinity bias, is make sure You know your affinity bias. 2, you know the affinity bias of your recruiters. And you know the affinity bias of the management team around you. Additionally, if you're an employee looking at this video, know your biases, because if you don't, you won't be making objective decisions. Point 3, confirmation bias does occur. All research indicates it does occur. And the way to eliminate that is to ensure that you have a structured recruitment set of questions that are established to eliminate these biases. My proposition to you is that if you do not understand your personal biases, it will impact your decision making. You will be less objective. Not only will that potentially hurt you, hurt your income, but it will hurt those people around you and the people you care about.